Thanks for joining this week's Go Erie Live discussion. Today, Erie Times-News reporter Jennie Geisler will be talking with John Burawa from the Waterford Fair. I'm Erie Times-News online reporter Sarah Grabsky. I'll be behind the camera moderating your Go Erie Live comments today. Thanks to Gannon University for sponsoring these live discussions every week. Enjoy the conversation. Jennie.
Thanks. So, here we are. It is up and running. It's going. You said the rain had dampened spirits, but then people started coming.
Yes. I think God blessed us.
Yeah.
He shut off the rain at the appropriate time.
Oh, good.
By mid to late morning, it started to subside, and we're fortunate enough.
That was yesterday, Monday?
Yesterday, Monday, Labor Day, beginning day. Although Sunday was a very busy day because we take entries on Sunday now. Yeah. So there's over 6,000 entries.
6,000?
Yes.
Wow.
So it takes a while to process all that data.
I can't imagine.
Of course, we're sophisticated in technology. You know,
we've done it a few times.
Yeah, we have a fleet of laptops in all the departments that helps us get that thing done. But yeah, the 6,000 entries, which consist of probably 800 plus exhibitors, people that exits. So that was done yesterday, but today the fair yesterday the fair officially started. Starts with a garden tractor pull in the midday, and it just goes on from there. Well, actually, there's a horse show that starts at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So it goes, it's all day affair.
So you got more and more people as the day went on?
Yes. It just, in fact, the age of technology, we have a drone.
Yeah.
So we went up about 7:30 with the drone just to get an idea, and the parking lots were 90+% full.
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it is wonderful.
That's terrific.
Like I say, I think we were blessed because Labor Day is a big day for us, you know, because the rest of the week kids are already in school, so it's primarily an evening fair Tuesday through Friday. Saturday, obviously, is another big day, but anyway, the weather looks pretty good for the rest of the week, so we're hopeful.
What's the big thing on the agenda tonight? A demolition derby?
Yes, there's a demolition derby.
Yeah, people love that, I bet.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, deep down inside, we're all 5-year-old boys.
Yeah. Isn't that the truth? Yeah, from kids, it's amazing how many young people love demolition derbies. They drag their parents there, even if the parents don't, have lost it. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, crash and bang. They just kind of like to see destruction.
Yes, in a controlled environment.
Yes, exactly. The last thing we want is anybody to get hurt.
Right, of course. Yeah, and before that, Earth Angel is going to perform. Yeah. Have they been there before?
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
We have a little gazebo, which is a large gazebo. Anyway, we have entertainment there constantly throughout the week. So tonight it's Earth Angel, but I can't remember who all you got a better
I got it all here on this big fancy list. Yeah.
But anyway, at the gazebo, we have bleachers and stuff set up so the public can, if their thing is to, listen to the music, they do that. So we have different groups, country and western, to Earth Angel, to might be a polka band. There's all kinds of musical entertainment at the gazebo.
Oh, that's terrific.
Yeah.
So what should bring people out in the evenings this week?
Well, the Demolition Derby, obviously.
Yeah.
But then we have a full gambit of rides with a ride concessionaire. There's about 17 individual rides.
Wow. So how does the ticketing work for that?
Well, there's a couple different ways. First of all, we do sell pre-tickets, which are at a discount, so they can buy a Ride-A-Rama ticket for like $15, which is good for any specific day. So they can ride all day on that Ride-A-Rama. They can buy that pre for $15, or they can buy a strip of tickets for $10, and each one of those strips, which there are 6, gets them a ride. Now, when the fair starts, the tickets are like $1.25, and the Ride-A-Rama goes up to $20.
So the Ride-A-Rama is really the way to go if you're a big ride person.
Yeah.
So what's the scariest ride? Do you go on them?
No.
No.
Probably the scariest ride this year is a new ride that he has, which I have not even really had a good chance because we're kind of busy.
Yeah.
It's called the Avenger.
Oh, okay. What happens?
It goes sideways, up and down, and all around. So
You don't need to do any of that.
No, I don't. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
My stomach won't take it.
Yeah. Your Avenger days are over.
Yes, they are.
All right. Well, what's going on? Today's Tuesday, and there's Wednesday. We got Loose Change Band. I recognize their name. That's a
Do ya?
local favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, Loose Change is a local favorite. They've
Yeah.
been around. I think you guys probably have heard of them many times.
Yes, an antique tractor pull. Does that bring in a lot?
It brings in a lot of antiques. We actually have over 100 antique tractors that participate.
Holy camole.
Yeah, and fortunately a number of years ago we went with a double track because watching antiques, some people would analyze that by saying it's kind of like watching paint dry.
Yeah.
They don't roar and they don't blow a lot of
They
dirt
don't scream.
smoke.
They don't, throw a lot of dirt.
Yeah,
you
so
know.
consequently, but the true antiquers, the people that are involved with a lot of these guys put a lot of money into these tractors.
I bet,
I mean, there's a particular brand that I think is pretty. It's called a cockshut. I never heard of a cockshut driver until I got affiliated with the fair.
Well,
with the fair.
all right.
But-
Well, to each his own.
Yeah, to each his own. But the antique pull brings a select crowd, so to speak. But it's, but they love it, you know. But it does.
Question.
Yeah.
Something that you might not have had to address in years prior, but what about event security? Have you guys had to up that or adjust that any as?
That's a very good question because obviously the world we're dealing in is a little unsettling. So yes, we have a private security company that we engage that patrols the grounds 24/7. We also have a relationship with the Erie County Sheriff's Posse, and they patrol the parking lots on horseback. You know,
Wow.
so they're perusing all those, and it's amazing. Something about that officer on a horse just is kind of intimidating to whatever trouble young people might be trying to get into. You know,
I can only hope.
yeah. Now, I understand they had a bomb scare at Crawford County, so, you know, you have to be kind of prepared, even though you don't know what
to prepare for.
What to prepare for, exactly. It's a little bit disconcerting, you know, that we live in an environment that you have to worry about things like that, but that's just the way it is.
It is.
But we have definitely engaged security. We have a full-time security guy that's independent of the security service that we engage, and independent. The sheriff's posse is also independent.
Okay.
So we try to do our due diligence.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. What else can you do? Let me see here. Well, the F4H and the FFAs. How many kids does that bring in? A lot, probably.
Yeah.
From the South counties.
The 4-H clubs are. Anybody that knows anything about 4-H, it's a very worthwhile.
My husband grew up doing it.
Did he really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it teaches a lot of good values. You know, leadership values, public speaking. They do a whole gambit of things in addition to raising animals. You know, but the livestock sale is an opportunity for these kids to make some money you know, for college or something because. A lot of these animals sell for a much higher price than market price. So it's also a very interesting thing for us. We just administer the sale. You keep track of buyers and sellers and the kids, but they do the homework. The kids do the tough part about soliciting buyers. You know, they write letters and contacts. And so. But the sale, it'll pack the 4-H barn because there'll be a lot of interest there.
There's a lot of interest usually.
We also have certain charities that we sponsor, so certain animals the proceeds will actually go for a worthwhile charity.
Oh, that's
And then they started something a few years ago where they'll pick the charity hog, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll try to raise as much money as possible. So in the past, that thing has achieved $45 a pound.
Wow, that's
a very expensive hog.
Yes, it is. That's some
Yeah.
expensive bacon there.
Yeah. But the proceeds go to a charity,
Yeah.
so it's a good thing.
Would that be $45 for a pound of bacon? I don't.
It might be more.
It might be more. Yes, it might. We shouldn't end without saying that the Senior Citizen Day is Saturday, and
Absolutely.
everybody 62 and over gets in free.
Yes,
So don't
yes,
miss
indeed.
that fun if you're ready to go.
Another question. Share with us a little bit of the history of the fair, like its roots.
The fair is a duly charted 501c3 charity. Was actually filed in the Commonwealth in 1937. So this is our 82nd year.
Wow.
We've been around 82 years. It originally started in the park in Waterford. No buildings. A park is a park. It's a ball field, and they would. The old, my predecessors, they would establish tents and makeshift corrals and actually use the back stage of the elementary high school for their certain exhibits. They had chickens back then. We don't have chickens today, but so in 1970, they were successful in purchasing the original Waterford track where it is now.
Mm-hmm.
They bought 52 acres from a gentleman that was retiring, and we started building buildings. So in 1970, we bought the land. Again, my predecessors, they built the first building, the home show one, and one dairy barn. Now we have 13 buildings.
Wow.
We also bought an additional 14 acres. We had to buy our parking lot, which is just to the across Soroka Road, which is kind of invaluable. And again, it was we were kind of successful in buying that parcel because the sellers wanted $150,000, which we thought was all it is 10 acres of bare land, and 3.5 acres of it is swamp. So, but the options weren't to our liking, where we would put parking, and it's kind of valuable parking, so we were successful in purchasing it, and it's paid for now.
Oh, that's good.
But the history is there was a couple years in World War II where it kind of took the back seat because most of the guys were going off to war, and a gentleman by the name of Howard Proctor and Mr. Dingle were instrumental in reestablishing the fair and getting it off the feet. In fact, Mr. Proctor was the guy that solicited me almost 30 years ago to be the secretary.
Wow.
And, I guess I've graduated to being president now, so I don't know if that's a graduation or a demotion.
Yeah, you were voluntold.
Yeah. We currently have a board of directors of 15 people, of which the officers are 4 of them. We have a very good crew right now, my opinion. I'm a little biased, but they're very, we have a good feel for 4-H. We have 3 of them that had kids that grew up in 4-H, like you said your husband did, and so it's near and dear to them. And these kids are near and dear to us. They not only have us, not only do we have the venue where they have the sale, but these kids pay back. They show up. They have community nights where 25 or 30 of these kids will come and they'll paint, like the horse arena, which is 300 feet by 100 feet. They paint the whole thing. They'll show up with 24 or 25 kids. We buy the paint and give them gloves, and they do it. The first time we did it, it took us weeks to paint it, and they did it in about 3 or 4 hours. So they've done a lot for us too. I mean, they want to do because they see we're trying to improve their asset. So they recognize that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it is. It's a cool thing. The last thing, if you got a minute, that I'd like to mention is ag education is a big part of what we do. So about 8 or 9 years ago, we were successful in making inroads with the Fort LaBeouf school system, which is our school system. And they the school has started, so it's kind of difficult for them to come to the fair. But in working with the elementary school principal and the Kiwanis social organization and us, we put our heads together, and we now have 165 to 175 third graders from the Fort LaBeouf school system that they dump off on Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
And we have a little shotgun start where 20 kids and a Kiwanian and a teacher will go to all the different barns.
Oh, neat.
In the barns we have people stationed to answer questions, to give them little grab bags.
That's great.
They have a chance to milk a goat. It's a fun time. We're having a lot of fun with it.
That's great.
And then building on that, we have now started to make inroads with the inner city schools.
Oh, yeah?
Deal started it. Deal had the first garden at the school, and a lady, my contact at Deal, basically said, John, I had 7 or 8 kids that actually worked in the garden, walked to the garden and weeded and watered and everything. Can I bring them to the fair? And I said, absolutely. Now 10 schools have gardens, and now we have a busload of kids coming from Perry, Edison, Deal, and we're building on it. They plan on 2 busloads next year.
Oh, that's great. That's terrific.
How many people traditionally come to the fair?
We don't have a totally accurate down to the penny, but we have a pretty good feel of around 35,000 people for the 6-day event.
That's amazing. Give us a little bit of insight. This is just something I'm curious about. Like, what is it like planning this? Is it kind of, you have it down to a science now, and you know who to contact, or like, the food and the rides? I mean, is it kind of like landing a plane that all comes together?
It does all come together amazingly, but not without a whole lot of effort. We probably we have meetings every month. The Fair Board does. We probably start planning on next year's fair at the end of this year's fair, at the end of this year or this calendar year. So December, we have our reorganization meetings in October and November. Then in December, we kind of relax, have a little more social time. It's a festive time, holidays time. And then in January, we're right back at it. We start off, we are a member of 100+ fairs across the state that belong to the Pennsylvania State Association of County Fairs.
Oh, neat.
They do a lot for us in addition to us paying dues to support that organization. In January, they have a convention in Hershey. It's a 5-day affair that does a lot of informational relative, and whether it be environment or legal or whatever. They have all kinds of sessions on prevalent personal issues, things that affect the fairs.
Yeah.
And so we have a team that goes to the convention every year, and it's a worthwhile endeavor. But yeah, we start planning probably. We're probably planning 9 or 10 months out of the year for it. We have a gentleman that's in charge of concessions, so he books all the outlying food joints, crafters, face painting, whatever it is. He's the guy that does it. He does an amazing job. What's nice is when you walk around the fair, all the spots are full, so that's a sign that
people want to come.
Exactly.
And what is the nuts and bolts of admission and when it's going on and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, hours, admission.
Okay, we start, like I say, on Monday's a big day. We start at 9 o'clock in the morning. The fair actually opens up at 9 o'clock in the morning every day, but it's not as exciting as Labor Day and Saturday because the kids are in school, but there are dairy shows and beef shows and swine shows, and the draft horses put on displays with 2-horse hitches up to 6-horse hitches, and they have all this shiny garb on, and they're pulling decked out wagons. It's kind of a neat spectacle to see. That's very impressive to look at. To get into the fair, it's $4 if you just want to come for one day. Kids under 8 are free. If you want to come all week, you can buy a button for $8, and that gets you in all 6 days. The grandstands are free. All the events, the Demolition Derby that we're having tonight, all the polls, the rest of the nights, they're all free.
Wow.
That exciting antique tractor pull, that's free. That's free.
Free parking.
Yes, free parking.
What else are we on? When does it close? Like at night? Like it starts around 5 and then...
Yeah, it probably 10.
10-ish.
It's ish.
Yeah.
It's because kids have to go to school, and, you know.
Anything else?
Anything else? I had a thought, but I lost it. No, I think that's, I don't know.
What's your favorite thing to eat?
What's my favorite thing to eat?
Yeah.
That's kind of a toughie. Fair food is fair food. You got to eat it all.
Yeah, you do.
We actually have a guy that goes around and he rates sausage sandwiches. Because sausage is a very
big deal.
Big deal.
Yeah.
And there's probably about 5 or 6 different places you can get a sausage sandwich. And he always says, this one's number 1. So we always have to try that.
Okay. We'll leave you off the hook on that one.
Okay.
Thanks to everyone who joined in and participated in this week's GoErie Live discussion. This video will be available for replay on the GoErie Facebook page and on the GoErie homepage. Thanks again to Gannon University for sponsoring this discussion, and thanks to John for joining us today. You can find upcoming topics and guests on the GoErie Facebook page each week. Thanks for listening.